trust at the county recorder's office where the property is located. They'll either stamp it and give it right back to you, or they'll mail it back to you. And one way or another, you get the deed back and you put that in your records.
For them to record the trust, does it usually depend on how fast they receive the mail? Or does it depend county-wide, how?
You don't record the trust. Remember? You don't record the trust, you only record the deed.
Okay.
And that's just like any other recording of the deed, you know? Either stamp it, give it to you right then, or they mail it back to you. But it's the same process as if you were taking title in your name, but you're not. Yes, ma'am?
Does the deed have the beneficiary and the trust?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, the deed just has the trustee's name, and that's where you get the privacy of it. Nobody knows who the beneficiary is.
Yeah.
This is the reason why lawyers don't like to take on trust. They will if there's enough money involved, but they don't like to take on trust because they don't know who they're against. Is it little old Randy Hughes, or is it a big corporation with the legal department just waiting to sue them back? They don't like uncertainty, and so they're real gun shy to sue these trusts. And then we go to sleep well. Yes, ma'am.
Would these transactions be between buyer and seller directly only? Like there would never be a broker involved or anything?
There could be a broker involved, real estate broker, sure, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
You're just exposing the deed trust.
Yeah, you just say, you know, at some point in the transaction, the title company or the escrow agent's gonna say, how do you want the deed made out? And you're gonna say, I want it made out to John Jones, trustee for the Orange and Blue Land Trust number 1234. Okay? Now, I want to go through 12 of the reasons out of this 50 reasons booklet. 12 of them? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, before you move on, is it the same process if you're buying subject to or in a wrap?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm buying and the seller is providing financing, I ask him to put the property into trust. Because, and here's how that conversation goes. Hey, Bob, you know, we've just known each other for a couple of days. We've been negotiating this real estate transaction. You don't really know me, and I don't really know you. So to protect both of us, let's put this property, the title of the property, into a trust. That way, you go off to California and do whatever you want to do. You're getting divorced and moving out of state, fine. I don't have to chase you down. And if I go crazy or get divorced or whatever happens in my life, it isn't going to affect the title to this real estate. So that's fair, isn't it? You know, let's put it in an entity where our misbehavior doesn't screw up the title.
So that the seller is a trustee and you as the beneficiary?
No, the seller wouldn't be the trustee. The seller would be the beneficiary. They'd put the property into trust. They'd be the beneficiary. Then they'd sell the beneficial interest to me, the new buyer. Okay?
But then are you still tied to each other in some way?
Not really. I mean, you know, they've sold you the beneficial interest.
And they would be the trust, but then you can always replace them?
Yeah, once I step into their position as beneficiary, I can fire the trustee or anything I want to do.
So to make them feel secure, I mean, their security would be the note and deed of trust.
To make them feel secure?
Well, yeah, if you're the beneficiary, they have no say what.
Well, they're taking the title out of their name, putting it in the trust.
Mhm.
They're the beneficiary of the trust.
Wait, but they
They
sign the
sell the
interest.
beneficial interest to me. Now, they're out of the equation.
Right.
I step into their position as beneficiary, I can tell the trustee what to do. They're gone, they're out. Okay? That would be on a cash deal if it was a.
No, I'm saying if they're holding the note.
If they're holding a note and I'm making monthly payments, then
It's just-
I'll have the assignment, but it's contingent on me paying off the note. Kind of like a standard deal, we just throw the trust in.
Okay.
Okay, so the 12 reasons out of the 50, and we talked about avoiding probate. Judgments do not attach to the property. I told you the story about the shopping center. My co-beneficiary had a $3.4 million judgment against him, didn't touch the property. That's pretty cool. And that's the way life ought to be. I mean, I shouldn't get screwed over because he made mistakes in his life. If you do have multiple owners, you're invested with other people, it's a lot easier and a lot safer to do it with a trust. Wholesaling and contract assignments, anybody doing those? It's easier to do with a trust. You can avoid seasoning issues. You know, if you're buying you know, where they're taking a short sale, you can't substitute buyers on the contract. You gotta have the same buyer from day one to the day of closing, don't you? So if you make the offer in the name of the trust, the trustee, you can sell the beneficial interest all you want down here, 5 or 6 people, and then the trustee's the same buyer, and the trustee closes the deal 6 months later. It takes 6 months to do it. So it just solves a lot of problems that we run into in this business. No registered agent, as we said, so that saves you franchise taxes. No tax return, no tax ID number for a trust. They're a pass-through entity in the eyes of the IRS. Anybody doing lease options, buying or selling with a lease option? Anybody doing lease options? Same, if you're doing them, if you're selling on a lease option, same thing as selling on an installment contract, sell the beneficial interest in the trust, sell the option to buy the beneficial interest in the trust. And then if there's default, again, you repossession, don't foreclose. Protection against unhappy tenants. Anybody ever have an unhappy tenant in here?
Oh, yeah.
It, not being the owner puts you in a totally different light. If I'm the owner and I go to you and I say, you know, your rent's gonna go up 10%. And she says, well, hey, I saw that Mercedes you drove in over here, you don't need any more money. You know, we got an instant problem, don't we? Whereas if I go and I say, sorry, but the owner told me to raise your rent 10%. If it were up to me, I would.
Darn that owner.
I'm just a property manager, I hate my job.
Oh, that investor.
Everybody else. And if it was up to me, it'd be no rent increase. I got an increase in rent because the owner told me. You see the difference? How much easier life is for you when you are a manager and not an owner? Make your life easy, not difficult. Avoid the due on sale clause, we talked about that. How you can sell beneficial interest, which is a non-recorded transaction. The bank doesn't know anything about it, and so there's no due on sale. Privacy of ownership helps ID theft of your name. Using a trust helps you avoid identity theft. How does that work? Well, the identity thieves are pretty smart. They can go online and they can lift your signature off the deed, and your address is on the deed, so they know where you live, they have your signature. So it's not much harder to get the bank account information. Yes, sir?
Have you ever seen land trusts work kind of like against credibility because of the security and privacy aspects? Or are they more like, ooh?
It's a good question, because the one thing I fight all over the United States in speaking about this subject is the perception that I'm doing something illegal. Sneaky.
Protecting yourself is illegal.
Well, there's a lot of people feel that way. Oh, well, he must be doing something wrong. He doesn't want to tell anybody what he owns. Well, I don't believe that. It's none of your business. And so that's the negative when you're using these trusts, is fighting that misperception that there's something illegal, immoral, or fattening going on, and there isn't. Okay, we talked about repossessing, not foreclosing on an installment contract. Naming your trust. I have a whole chapter here in my course guide on how to name your trust. Now, if you happen to find an attorney and you go to them tomorrow and say, I heard this guy from Illinois come out and talk about land trusts, and he said it's important to pick the right name for your trust, the attorney will laugh at you and tell you that I'm an idiot. But I've got a little bit of experience in this, and what's interesting is there's no registry for land trusts like there is for corporations and LLCs, where you have to go check and see if the name's available. So you can call your trust whatever you want to. So, if I were naming a trust, I'd probably try to come up with a name that was relatively intimidating.
And not your last name?
No, certainly not my
Yeah.
last name.
Like old tax records, would be like John Smith, and then Smith family, you know.
Now, I might use somebody else's last name, but I wouldn't use mine. You want to name your trust something that is going to ward off the contingency fee orders. So let's have some fun. Anybody got any ideas what you want to name your trust?
Well, this would be my thing I've seen before, like, what about the property address? Is that too?
That's very typical, and attorneys that do trust oftentimes recommend that you use the property address, which I think is stupid. I mean, we're not trying to give out information
Right.
here, certainly not accurate information.
Right.
If I was going to use the property address in the name of the trust, I'd use somebody else's property. No, it's not the property of the trust.
Yeah, that'd be smarter.
Right away, they're going to say, huh, are we suing the right people?
Right.
This is the wrong address. Right out the gate, you
gotta
got
make
them
them work.
confused.
Yeah.
That's a good
So-
thing. So, but what we do is we want to come up with a name that is relatively intimidating.
Senior Hughes Inc.
The Santa Barbara Senior Investors Club Trust. You really want to see a bunch of old people? A lot of attorneys probably would. I had one student raise his hand, he said, why don't I name it the California Trial Lawyers Trust? I said, well, I think that's getting a little edgy, but you're on the right track. Because when you sue a lawyer, or a lawyer sues you, they got a leg up on us, don't they? They don't pay legal fees. And they understand what's going on in the system. So, I had a student of mine call me last year from California, and he said, I bought a new apartment building, and I'm trying to come up with the name of the trust, and I'm kind of stumped, would you help me? I said, sure. What's your heritage? And he said, I'm Armenian. I said, what's your wife's heritage? He said, she's Jewish. And I said, okay, why don't you name your trust the Armenian-Jewish, ESQ, Global Investment Trust Fund.
Are you really gonna mess with that?
Yeah, what does that imply? What do you think, who do you think's behind that trust? Pardon?
Countries, yeah.
Whole countries.
Whole countries? What's the ESQ make you think?
Attorneys.
Yeah,
Attorneys. Do you really want to sue a bunch of Armenian Jewish attorneys on a global level? So you see, it's a psychology that's going on here. It's a psychology. So I've got a whole chapter in there on how to name your trust, how to number your trust, and all the 40 years of my crazy, wild experience rolled into one chapter. So I think you'll really enjoy it.
So just a quick question, so once you come up with this really good name, you just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, I come up with a different name for every trust.
Exactly.
If I, in San Francisco, I speak up there 5 or 6 times a year, and there's a whole bunch of money flowing in there from China. So if I was buying property in San Francisco, I might call it the Chinese Millionaires Investors Club. There's a ton of money flowing into Florida right now from South America. If I was buying property down in Florida, I might call my trust the Partnership Club. You see the psychology? And it's fun.
Columbia.
Dad, Columbia. Or call it the Chaco Investment Fund. So what's at stake here? Well, pretty much everything in your life, your future, your kids' future, your college education for your kids, your car, your house, your boat. About 10 years ago, I formed something called the Land Trust University, which is a membership. I charge between $700 and $900 a year just to belong to this university. It's got 24/7 secure login, videos of me teaching this information to a live audience. Any forms that I update or invent, which I do a few times a year, members of the Land Trust University get for free. You get a free pass to a future live seminar. Coaching calls. I do a coaching call. January's call was yesterday. Once a month on a Saturday morning. And I have students from all over the United States and 4 different countries that call in. We talk about trusts and LLCs and corporations and privacy and asset protection. And I record those calls. So I'll give you the last 6 or 7 years worth of calls, access to those calls. You go through and see the subject matter and say, "Oh, that sounds pretty interesting." And some additional discounts. The land trust made simple system is what I invented personally. I did it myself. And it teaches you how to create these trusts at no cost. Doesn't cost you anything to form a land trust. And I don't think we have any audio, do we?
Not really, just your computer.
Okay. If you bought all this stuff a la carte, it would total $3,269. I sell it for $525. You take one and pass it on to. $525 gives you the complete home study course with DVDs of me teaching this information to a live audience. You can back it up and watch it 20 times if you want to. Form CD. The course guide is an electronic version on there. An audio CD of the seminar, so you can listen to it in your car. All for $525, so about a third of what it would cost you to have one trust formed by an attorney here in California. Yes, David?
Now, I've heard the system passed, and a lot of good information there, I love it. I'm just wondering, is it possible to pay you by the hour or something? If we ever are doing something that we're confused, we just say, I really need your help, I'm willing to pay you, can we do that?
No, but I'll do it for free.
Wow.
If you're a member of the Land Trust University, now, that's $797 a year to go on. If you, here's the deal I offer every time I speak, only when I'm speaking. If you buy this home study course today for $525, I will give you a one-year membership in the Land Trust University for free. Which means you got access to all those calls. I write a newsletter. I'm the only guy on the planet writing a Land Trust newsletter for real estate investors. So you get that, and you get access to me for free. That's pretty good. Really good deal. So you get the trust agreement, you get the deed form, you get all the management forms you'll ever need if you want to change the trust, amend the trust, appoint a new trustee, fire a trustee, appoint a new beneficiary, fire a beneficiary, whatever you want to do, yeah, it's all there. And here's how it breaks down a la carte. There's that membership I was talking about, $797. So if you go to my website right now today, that's what you can pay for these items. So, you also get, I made arrangements for you to talk to, there's no obligation, talk to an asset protection specialist that sets up corporations and LLCs. And you can talk to this guy and find out what's the best state to form an LLC. You don't have to form it in California.
Oh no.
And there are a lot cheaper states to form an LLC.
Yeah, better.
Have better protection. So that's probably worth more than $100, but I threw that in there, but you can decide if you want to use him or not. You also get my privacy and asset protection book. Now you can buy that for $97 on my website right now, or you can get it for free as a member of the Land Trust University. It's 280 pages. It took me 25 years to research that information. It took me 93 hours to write the book. And about 2 years ago, I updated it with another 19 hours of my life. So there's a whole lot of my life. And you get that for free. It doesn't talk about land trusts. It talks about how to be more private and how to protect your assets. That you get for free. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you had a live seminar coupon there for, when does that happen here?
Whenever I feel like doing a seminar. I was supposed to do one next month with Sam Sadat. You guys know him?
Yeah.
But we got our schedule screwed up, and so I think it's going to maybe be April, May, or June before I come back and do that. We're going to do it 2 days now. But I'll notify you when I'm back, because I'm out here all the time.
That'll be here, in the West Coast.
Yeah, probably be in the LA area. So as I mentioned earlier, the bottom line is you work hard to acquire your assets. Spend a little bit of time learning how to do this, because you can't wait till the wolf's at the door. Can't tell you how many calls I get every month from people saying, either they didn't buy my course, or they bought it and didn't do anything with it, and now I'm getting sued. What should I do?
Wow.
Pray. Just pray, because there's not, once you've been notified of a lawsuit, everything you do is suspect from that point on. So asset protection is something you need to be proactive. You need to do in advance of the wolf at the door. You can't buy fire insurance on your house when your house is on fire. So you got to do it in advance, and that's what we're talking about here. So I give you that one-year membership. You can go online at that website if you want to and buy this course and download it immediately. But you do still get an electronic version in the hard copy, and I probably want hard copies for anybody, everybody that wants one. I should mention, I do have a 100% money-back guarantee. If you buy this today, you get it home, and it's just not what I told you it was, or whatever your problem is, it's a no questions asked, send it back to me. I do have to get it back, and then I'll give you a refund. And we'll still be friends. Okay? So there's the breakdown.
Can you show the screen with your website or tell us the website name? Let's see it.
It's on the sheet.
Oh, I see it. Well,
Yeah, the website's Land Trust.
Yeah, it's on,
Yeah,
Right,
it's
it's the house.
simple.com. So, please fill that out. You can go home with this today. I will give you a one-year membership in the Land Trust University. That should make you feel comfortable. I'm going to be there to hold your hand, especially through the first trust. You may need some hand holding, and that's all right. But once you get that first one, it's like riding a bike. You'll be printing them off and doing it all day long. Yes, ma'am.
so you're saying that if we already have some things that aren't in trust, and they're in our personal family trust, it walks us through how to take it out of that and put it into land
Yes, and
trust?
I can help you over the phone and
Okay.
through email as well. But yeah, anything that's in your name now, you want to get out of your name.
Right.
And then in the future, you want to always buy directly into the trust. Okay? I know I pushed you a little bit ledgy here today on this subject. Any final questions before we?
How do insurance companies handle something in a land trust or a policy?
I have a whole chapter in my course guide on how to insure the property. So I explain to you how to do it, so you can explain to them. But the short answer to your question, I don't want to avoid it, is you make the trustee of the trust the named insured. Okay? Because they're the owner. The insurance company wants to insure the owner. So the owner is a trustee, so that's the named insured. Yes, sir.
Do you have information on personal property trust in your kit and how to use them?
Actually, this is my basic course, and I have an advanced course. This basic course is 100 pages long. It teaches you how to create your own trust, provides all the forms you need. The advanced course, you may or may not ever want. But if you get into this and say, man, this is really cool stuff, do you have any more? I do have an advanced course. And in the advanced course, I answer a lot of those questions, and I provide personal property trusts and diagram it all out. But I'll be glad to send you, if you want, a personal property trust agreement. They're even easier to understand than the land trust agreement. And you can put your car and your boat and your motorcycle in. And again, it doesn't cost anything to form a personal property trust, so you can do that on all your liable assets.
The
Okay?
advanced course is how much for the whole?
The advanced course. My advanced course is $525 too. If you buy them together at the same time, I discount them by a couple $100. And the advanced Land Trust University membership is $997 a year. And I give you a one-year membership in that if you want to buy the basic and advanced together and save a couple $100. Okay? All right? Did we do well?
Oh, yes.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Randy, and I would say, for 500, that's a steal, but what really you should consider is the fact that he said 1 year of the university thrown in there for free, because I know, having bought it myself, and sitting back and watching all my educational stuff, and they're cellophane wraps that I never open up. You know, during this year, 2016, if you were to purchase today, you would have him on the phone as part of that. He said he will give you the university as part of that, right, Randy?
That's right.
So, you know, if you start on the book and you go, gee, this is great, but I just don't know, I need to talk to him, call him up, he's not gonna charge per hour, he's giving you that for a full year. That's something I don't have. I'll go back and pay him probably this year and say, okay, I'm really gonna do something this year, you know, top of my goal sheet. So that's a great thing for all of you today to take up that offer if you decide to do this. So I want to thank you all for being here. We will do another meeting next month. And I want to thank Elizabeth over here. Okay, Elizabeth, I'm going to thank you for being the best person in this room for the whole time we were here, okay? Thank you all. We're going to head down after this is over. If anybody wants to meet us down there, we'll be down there. I'm not sure if you're going to be around, Randy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be down there for the networking. Thank you all very much.
Dan, is there gonna be a date for